Started with the site level SEO, and in the site level SEO we covered topics like the template titles and descriptions, template content, the heading tags of the page, right? We also discussed about the breadcrumbs and schema code. Breadcrumbs and schema
Yes.
code. Do you all remember that?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
Yeah.
in today's class, we will be discussing about the sitemaps, XML sitemap and HTML sitemap. Okay. So what are the sitemaps?
See,
Yeah.
sitemap is what we have in our website. Will give some direction to the Google. Is it right?
Okay. See, XML sitemaps. So there are two different types of sitemaps in SEO implementations. One is XML sitemap and another one is HTML sitemap. Okay. So XML sitemap is simply a repository of URLs for search engines or bots. So if bot has to understand about your complete website, if it has to know how many URLs are there on your website, you can simply mention those URLs in the sitemap. Okay. So it's just like a list. Whenever bot gets to see any URL, or maybe bot sees this list and just holds that information with it. All these URLs are supposed to be crawled, or all these URLs belongs to this website. That's the kind of information XML sitemap will hold, right? So I'll quickly read the definition that's been put here. XML sitemaps are the XML files with details of all the valid web pages on your website, which indicate the priority, the content change frequency, and the last content modification information about the pages to the bots. See, you are not just providing the list of URLs, you're also telling to bot that this URL is super important on my website. Your website might have a page UPSC, your web page might have NEAT, your web page might have different kinds of entrance tests. But of all that, for you, UPSC will be the most important web page, and you can communicate that as a priority to the bots. Priority to the bots. I'm going to show it to you how the XML sitemap would look like. Basically, in the XML sitemap, you are providing a URL, the priority of the URL in the range of zero point 0.1 to 1.0. 0.1 indicates low priority and 1.0 1 indicates the highest priority. You are straight away telling to bot, boss, this is highest priority URL for me on my website, and you have to give importance to it, right? So apart from priority, you will be also helping or providing other kind of information, such as how frequently the content changes on the web page. So on UPSC page, or maybe on the hair transplantation web page of your website, you must be changing the content every day, or you must be changing once in a week, or once in a month, once in a year, or lifetime, correct? So this information can also be communicated to the bots. Based on this information, bot used to make the visit to those web pages in the past. Right now, you are providing that information, but bot may not necessarily really consider all of that and make the visits every day. Bot still visits those web pages as per its convenience. Yeah, right? And then you are also going to provide the information of the date when was content last changed. You are telling the content is changing every day, or maybe weekly or daily or monthly or yearly, but Google has to know when was that content changed. You are telling that content is getting changed every week, and when was that content changed. You have to give the date information as well. So these are the kinds of details that you will be providing in your XML sitemap. What is the benefit? Why are you providing details to bots like this? See, if you go back to a decade, even now it's valid. Even now it's valid, it's needed. So basically, bots with all this information, they prioritize crawling your web pages. We are doing everything for bots to crawl our website only, correct? Search engine's three key factors are to rank your website is: one is crawl frequency, second one is CTR, and third one is engagement. And this particular implementation is helping bots to crawl your web pages, or helping bots with the information so that bots crawl them properly. Okay. So the XML sitemaps acts as the index page of the book, which basically helps bots with the information about all the valid pages on the website to be considered by the bots for crawling and indexing. Yeah. Your sitemaps will be usually named as sitemap.xml. It's something like your photos, myphoto.png, myphoto.jpg, the extension you see, right? Photo extensions. Correct? Same way the sitemap extension is .xml and will be sitting in the root directory of the website. Root directory is after .com, that's the place. Hence, they can be usually accessed by typing sitemap.xml at the end of the domain name. Okay, so you go to any website, at the end of the domain name, you type slash sitemap.xml. There is a sitemap. This is how it looks, but this is an index sitemap. This is called as an index sitemap, and in this there are so many child sitemaps, right? So child sitemaps, we are speaking about writing, how to write the child sitemaps. Index sitemaps is simple, no priority, nothing. Just loss modified has been put, right? All the sitemap URLs have been put. But the actual sitemap, the child sitemap will look something like this. It's loading, just hold on.
What is the main purpose of child site?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. One second.
So if we are a agency, means we need to concentrate for the site map, right, sir?
Sorry?
See, if you are an agency,
Okay.
So if the new customer will come to us, please, we need to check their site map also.
Okay. See, no. See, sitemap, I'll tell you the importance of the sitemap. See, sitemaps, basically sitemaps are creating the convenience for bots to know what is there on your website and what is not there on your website. Okay. So with this reference, they'll start finding the URLs of your website. They'll start crawling your website as well. Just with the see, for the main goal is when you have a web page on your website, you have to tell to the bots. You expect bots to be crawling them, correct? Now, when you put here, bots will be able to see them, and bots will start prioritizing or will initiate the crawling process of these URLs. The only use, the main use, is to help bots to understand which all web pages are there on the website, so that bots will start crawling the web pages.
Oh, generally the sitemap we need to update frequently.
Sitemaps, say it's something like this. So, whenever there is a new URL added to the website, and if you want to communicate to the bot, that's when you have to update your sitemap. See, now on this website, it's automated. It's automated. So now if you create any new course page on this website or launch any new product or service on this web page, automatically the URL gets added. See, now there are so many there, 367. So if there is any new course created, automatically a sitemap will get not 3,000, 4,686 URLs are there.
Okay, so generally in WordPress site also
it automatically gets added. You don't have to update your sitemap. So if it's a static sitemap, so few websites, people will put static websites. So obviously, sitemaps rule what it says. Whenever you want bot to see your new page, update that new URL in the sitemap. If you're adding a new page or a new product on your website, you will be updating it in the sitemap. Correct?
Yeah.
So it's something like this. I'll tell you. Yes. On WordPress websites, if you're using a Yoast SEO plugin or maybe any other plugin, 99% of the times it will be automatically getting updated. Okay. So if you don't have an automated sitemap, if you're this all can be built manually in your text files. This can be like HTML files. It may not necessarily be automated. So if it is not and upload it to the server. You are not going to upload it to the server anyways. So usually the web developers will take care of this work.
Oh,
Yeah.
so generally, if I'm creating a new website through the WordPress TVs, so I need to install the yoast, and generally we are using the yoast also.
Correct.
So in
So when
the
you install the
location,
Yoast SEO plugin, automatically the sitemap gets created.
okay, okay, okay. So okay. So we don't worry about that site.
Yes, you don't have to worry about the sitemap. So, but what happens is when you use the Yoast SEO sitemap, Yoast SEO plugin will take all the URLs, unwanted tags, categories that get created on the WordPress website. See, when you use WordPress content management system, automatically the tags gets created. When you are adding any tags, there will be a new page, categories, new pages, all those will get created. If you want to eliminate them, so the Yoast SEO sitemap section will allow you to eliminate those URLs, checkboxes. I don't want category pages to be added to the sitemap. You can exclude them. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you all understood, right? Sitemaps, building sitemaps. See, as a digital marketer, why you have to still know all of this is, so it's not going to be a WordPress website all the time. Okay. You might have a custom website built, or as a digital marketer, you will be working with the developers and various other companies, clients, projects. So not everybody will be building their websites on WordPress. So they'll have the custom websites. In those cases, you have to understand all of this and how they are built. Okay. It's very simple. Look at this. First, always like few people will write right in the top of the page, Om Namah Shivaya, O Sai Ram, Allah, right? First thing like that, always URL set. This is fixed thing always, no change, right? And then you are telling that URL. Where is this URL location? Location is HTTPS. URL location is HTTPS, and you are putting the location. Location is the URL path, the content path. You have a hair transplantation information. Where is that information? That information, to access that information, you have to type https dot slash colon slash slash thehopeclinic.com slash hair transplantation. That is the location of the content or URL path, right? This all will be automated usually. If you are building the sitemaps manually, you have to copy paste the URLs. It's not writing. Okay. So change frequency, how frequently the content changes, opening tag and closing tag. For every opening tag, there is a closing tag. Change frequency is weekly. Last month is needed. URL opening, URL closing at the bottom. Location opening, location closing. Location is nothing but your URL. Change frequency opening, change frequency closing. Last modified priority. And then same way for next URL. So basically you are wrapping, it's like chocolate is getting wrapped with the chocolate cover, right? Same way, this is the key information what I have selected. This is the key information that we are trying to communicate to the bots. And now if bots have to read or understand, we have to wrap it in this form. Okay? Did you all get that? Ariyaran, there is some disturbance from your end. Okay. Okay, so next is, so when you are building the sitemaps, so you have to make sure this all these URLs that you put, you cannot see. Now what happens is, why, see Ariyaran, you were asking a question. So should we update the sitemaps regularly? Yes. So sometimes what happens is, when you delete a web page on in the website, the URL will remain on the sitemap still. In case if it is manually built, if it is automated, 90% of the time URL also automatically gets deleted from the sitemap. Sometimes you will redirect page A to page B, redirection. Okay. So we are going to learn all of those status codes today. You are going to redirect page A to page B. In those cases, people might still retain the page A, URL A instead of URL B. So in those cases, you have to replace URL A with URL B, and you have to update the sitemap, upload the sitemap again. Okay. So here we are going to see some guidelines that way. Okay. Your sitemap should not contain more than 50,000 URLs. So it cannot URLs. If it is too heavy, 50,000 URLs is too heavy file, and bot should not visit your file if it is heavy. That's the reason we have split it to so many sitemaps. See, this website has 1 lakh URLs. We cannot keep all 1 lakhs into same. That's the reason we have split into multiple files. Correct?
So we can do that also, right, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
So in case if you have more than 50,000 URLs, break it down into multiple sitemaps and have one index sitemap. It's called as index sitemap or parent sitemap. Yeah. So how sitemaps are written, we have just discussed. Below all blue colored information is all pertaining to one URL, and if you have multiple URLs, you need to provide all the details of the URL as in the below example. This is one URL, same information for all the URLs. Okay. So there are different types of sitemaps: image sitemaps, news sitemaps, video sitemaps, text sitemaps. This is a simple general text sitemap. Okay, for normal web pages. So in case if you have URLs, video URLs on your website, in case if you have separate pages for images or image files, so you can build such kinds of sitemaps. Okay, so here I have provided the links how to build the image sitemaps. So there are news sitemaps. For news sitemaps, the guidelines will be slightly different. Here you are providing this information, right? For news sitemaps, you might tell that minutes, seconds also when the news got changed, the language, and couple of other things. Okay, that's how the news sitemaps work. You just have to Google, you will get the guidelines. The developers will take care of it. As a digital marketer, you have to know all of these sitemaps. Yeah. Okay. So what you should not be doing in the sitemaps, we have just now discussed it. Have only the valid URLs in the sitemap. Valid URLs are the URLs whose HTTP status code is 200. I'll explain you what is this. Okay. In case if the URL A is redirected to URL B, a new URL always will have a new sitemap. A new URL always have the URL B in the sitemap and not the URL A. Okay. So now to understand this don'ts or this 200, what is this? We have to understand HTTP status codes. Okay. So for that, I'll take an example. Okay. Okay. So now let's assume all of us can't speak. You all are dumb. So if you don't want, I'm asking, do you want to eat this? How do you tell when you don't want to eat it? Or okay, let's assume we all can speak. So I'm asking you, do you want to eat this? What will be your response if you would like to eat it? And what will be your response if you don't want to eat it? Yes. If you don't want to eat? No. Correct? So maybe not that example. Let's assume I have come to your home. Your parents are sitting outside. I'm asking, is he or she at home? Is he at home? They'll use the word yes. If you're not at home, they will use the word no. Right?
No.
See now, our language, this is English. Yes, no is the English language, correct? Now,
Correct.
if it is Tamil, is Ariyaran at home? If you're not at home, what will they say?
Ama illa. Yes
Illa.
or no?
Illa.
Illa.
If you're at home, irka.
Ama.
Ama, irka. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, see, every language, the words are different, right? See now,
Correct.
same way, this web, internet servers has their language. Okay. So now, your content is all put on the server, correct? On the hosting server, on the internet server, correct? So now, even you are asking to send a file, you are requesting for this file from the server. If this file exists in the server also communicates it with a response. See, if it is existing, it just pushes that content. It just brings all that information to the browser. It just brings. See now, when I'm asking, is he coming outside, How will I understand if he is at home? Somebody has to tell he is there, he is not there, correct? Same way, even before he is coming outside from the home, from the room, there is a language, somebody is telling you he is there, he is not there, right? Same way, servers also tell the file that you are requesting, the URL that you are requesting exists or doesn't exist, is there or not there, okay? So if the content that you are requesting or the URL that you are requesting is there on server, server says, communicates it with the number. We call that as HTTP status code. If it exists, if it is there, the number is 200, 200. If I am asking for this, so look, HTTP status code, HTTP status code, yeah, COD, okay. See, I have asked for something like this exists and the status code of this will be 200. Let me show it to you, HTTP status code checker. There are it was showing the information, correct? Are you all understanding this? If the form or DAD will tell 404, right? So now look at this other scenarios, very interesting scenarios. These two are very easy, right? 200, if available, if the file is on the server, it's 200. If the file that you are requesting or asking for is not there on your server, the HTTP status code is 404. And now, one more interesting thing, https://kandra.pro. The file that you're asking whether Hariharan is at home or not. Your parents are telling. So let's I don't know if you have any siblings. Maybe I'll take that example. Somebody else, Ram and Sham, both are brothers. I went to their home and I'm asking, is Ram at home? The parents of Ram are not telling whether Ram is at home or not. Simply they will telling Sham is at home. I'm repeatedly asking, is Ram at home? They are telling Sham is at home. That is redirection. Or I'm asking, do you have this vegetable or fruit? They are not telling whether they have or not. They are simply telling go to the next shop. That is communicated. That is called as redirection, and it's communicated through HTTP status code called 301, which is also called as permanent redirection. There is 302 code which is called as temporary redirection. I'll explain you the difference between permanent redirect and temporary redirect after understanding a couple of other status codes. Okay. So now this is third scenario, correct? One is if person is not there at home, 404. If the person is at home, 200 status code is the content exists. The content is available on the server. 404 indicates the file is not there. There is no such content on the server. 301 is a redirection. We have no clue if Ram is there at home or not. Whenever we are asking for Ram, they are just showing Sham. Same way, whenever you are typing Kandra.pro, it's redirecting to learn and try. Look at this. Whether Kandra.pro exists or not, it doesn't show. It's simply taking me to the website called learnandthrive.com. Look at this, it's happening, correct? So if something like that is happening, the status code of Kandra.pro is now 301, right? There is one more. I went to Ram's and Sham's house. I'm asking their parents, is Ram at home? They are not at all responding to me. They are not opening up their mouth. They are not responding. How will I know whether the person is at home or not? So sometimes the person could be at the home, may not be at the home, but still the problem here is they are not at all responding. They are not at all opening their mouth. They are not at all speaking. So your server also does something like that. Your server also does something like that, and which is indicated with the HTTP status code called 500 server error. That's when you see the server is busy. Server is busy with something else. They are not responding. Server is not responding. It's busy. It's crashed. Yeah, server could have crashed, or it's busy handling other requests. See, while I'm speaking to you all, will I be able to speak to other 4 people over 4 different phones? No, right? Same way, when your server has certain limitations. It can handle only certain number of requests. While it is serving content for 1 lakh people, and now additional 1 lakh people starts requesting for something, now it doesn't work for none of them. For first 1 lakh people and second 1 lakh people, for everybody it shows 500 server error. That is server crash. It doesn't open at all. That is 500 server error. Okay? Did you all get that? So
Yes, sir. Yes.
you cannot have any kind of status codes except 200 status code in your sitemap. Okay, so if you see 500 server error, so you can see such kinds of issues on your search console. So 500 server error indicates whenever bot is visiting your website to read the content or information on your website, server is busy. So I'll show it to you here. 500 status codes, if there are any. You can see them here under the pages. Yeah, see not found 404, there are 3. Server error 500, 14 such experiences. See, bot is visiting your website, let's say 500 times every week. Of that 500 times, 14 times it has not received, server has not responded. When did it not respond? What was the URL that bot has requested? Bot is asking for something like this. Okay, look at this recent times, April 16th. Salary comparison for VLSI professionals versus. See, currently this must be working or may not be working, still could see, still it's the same error. So we don't know why it's a error. As a digital marketer, you have to investigate further. Growth of semiconductor industry in India. 500 server error. We don't know why growth of semiconductor industry in India. So growth of semiconductor industry in India.
Not available. 500, it's
Server is not
there,
responding.
but it's not.
Maybe the URL could be on the website or may not be on the server. Okay, but server is not at all responding, not at all speaking. You could be at home or maybe you must have gone out, but your parents are not at all responding to me when I come and ask them.
So, what we need to do in that server
I'll tell
error?
it to you. I'll tell you. That's why I wanted to first show or investigate. That's what I'm trying to do here. Yeah. See, if it is a server error, see, this is actually not a server error. Server error is usually none of the page will work. So this is wrongly communicating. In case if such kind of URL is deleted, your server has to show 404 error, not server error. Okay. So this is again the wrong coding practices by the developer, and you have to instruct the developer, boss, I have deleted this. I have changed growth of semiconductor industry in India to just growth of semiconductor industry. I have removed this. And now if people are still typing in India, you have to show 404, not 500 server error. Okay. So if there is a genuine 500 server error, none of the web page on the website will open. In that case, you have to upgrade the resources of your server like RAM, the capacity. Basically, you have to increase the capacity of your server. Okay. See,
So in that
sometimes,
scenario, the page
yeah,
will be there, but it's not open.
if that doesn't have any kind of traffic at all, okay, you can ignore that
Okay.
page. You don't have to do anything at all. You just make it orphan. You make it that's not accessible from anywhere. You remove the internal links pointing to that 404 page, right? So in case if the web
Okay.
page which was there on your website since very long time and now you are deleting it, after deleting it, set up a redirect to it. Okay, or instead of deleting, set up a redirect to it, because that will be ranking on the Google. The traffic from Google comes to your website still, to the valid page. And second thing, this URL which existed on your website for the last 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years will have lots of energy associated with it. All that energy, instead of dissipating or killing that energy, you can pass that energy to a new page or any other page on the website. Okay, so hence setting up the redirection is also important, when especially when you have lots of backlinks built to that URL. Okay, that's the action item. Okay, so we are going to discuss search console in depth. That's when we will discuss different action items based on the status codes. Okay, based on different kinds of actions performed on the websites as well. Okay, yeah. So the next topic is HTML sitemap. Okay. So what is this
Okay.
HTML sitemap? Any idea, guys?
No, sir.
See, HTML, XML sitemap was a repository of URLs, but over there it was all in XML. Correct? HTML
Oh,
sitemap is also a repository of URLs, but all these URLs are wrapped in the destination link. After clicking on it, where it should go, that link. Correct? Click now text, and it's closed in the. There's a closing tag. This completely called as an HTML anchor tag. This is called as anchor tag, and the functionality or outcome of it is called as hyperlink. This is completely called as anchor tag. And when you implement an anchor tag, the outcome is hyperlink. Hyperlink is when you click on it, it's taking you to a destination website, correct? To a different URL, different website, right? And
correct. Yeah.
this is called as anchor text. Okay.
No.
So in order to now HTML sitemaps are nothing but the repository of URLs wrapped in the anchor tags. Why anchor tags? In this method, bot can navigate or pass the energy from one URL to the another URL. In XML sitemap, bot just gets the information that there are 100 URLs in the sitemap. But in this scenario, bot not only gets the information, but bot also passes its energy. Bot comes with bandwidth, right?
Oh,
Yeah, bot will be able to pass the energy from the parent URL to the child URL, or from the web one page to the another page. Yeah. So now this is very old approach, and this is applicable to small websites. Correct? So website which has got 20 pages, 30 pages, 50 pages. What if website has 1 lakh URLs? Will you be able to put all 1 lakh URLs? This HTML
no.
sitemaps are not really relevant for massive websites, right? This HTML sitemap is mainly this serves the purpose for small websites, right? So if it's a
Oh,
massive website, these HTML sitemaps are replaced with a strategy called as internal linking mesh.
oh.
It's replaced with a
So,
strategy called
which is generally used on web pages, right, sir? It's not in
yes,
header.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. So this HTML sitemap simply you list all the URLs and wrap them in the anchor tags. That's all your HTML sitemap. Okay, and it will be saved as
Oh,
sitemap, just slash sitemap dot html or just slash sitemap. Any, it's like any regular URL, any other URL. It's like any URL.
the Google Chrome.
As just you listing all the URLs at one place. Something like this. Let me. No, this can be considered to be as an XML HTML sitemap. Here it's in the boxes. Now without any boxes, just this link. See, explore now is taking to a destination website. Yeah. Any questions? Any doubts?
We can see the XML site, right, sir?
Correct. Correct.
For the same lighting, can we indicate for the HTML sitemap also?
No, no, no.
Is it
HTML sitemaps, people would follow practices like so people will put something like this. Not even like this. I'll show it to you. Wait.
oh,
something like this. Just listing all the URLs belonging to their website. You see that? So for this, what you have to do, you will be creating a page like how you create a blog post or any other page on your website, like WordPress website. You can create a new page, right? Add new under posts or under pages or any other section, correct? And just drop in all the links one after the other. And now this guy has done some design which is not needed. This guy is indicating the hierarchy. Not needed. See, this is the problem. See now, search engines when they came into the pictures decade back or even before that, they were following some approaches. They were requesting for some information to the user and were expecting people to leave the information like this. And now it's all outdated. It's not at all needed. There is a better alternative for this. We call it as internal linking method. People still do this. And now look at this. At least this fellow, this person has tried doing something here, something like this. Few people will have hundreds of URLs and they put all hundreds of URLs without really knowing will that help them or not. This is all outdated knowledge. So now look at this. How many URLs he has put breakdowns? Mobile, TV and home theater, computing, appliances and smart home. Maybe this is at least helping the real user. People like me and you, if you want to see all the products at one place, this is at least helping us, correct? Yeah. So a sitemap, HTML sitemap might serve this purpose, where basically it helps people understand all the products of the website. But ideally, the main goal or the purpose is, see, people. If people want to know people, what will people do? People will simply use the search button on the website, correct? They'll search. You want to add tomatoes to the basket on Big Basket website or Amazon website. What will you do? You will go to the HTML sitemap and do it. No. So HTML sitemap main purpose is for passing the crawl energy to the URLs. And now when you have millions of URLs, thousands of URLs, you cannot do this approach. It's internal linking mesh. So HTML sitemap concept is fine when you have very few URLs on the website. Less than 50, less than 100. But when you have thousands, you don't have to go with HTML sitemap. And companies like Amazon, Flipkart, Big Basket, you will not see HTML sitemaps. Not needed. Okay? So there are many more such site level implementations to be discussed. We have just discussed XML and HTML. Now there are multiple other things. We'll be discussing all of them in the upcoming classes. Okay? Anybody have any questions? No questions?
No, sir. Thanks.
Okay. So then in the